Hello, hello, hello. We're
Hey.
back.
Hey, bitches. Did you miss us?
That was kind of hot.
All
I was like, oh, okay, Laura.
right, let's see. Do you have any? Let me rant real quick.
Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
So, you know, my dad came from Mexico.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
So, my dad came from Mexico, y'all, right? And we were sitting down after que nos pasó los dulces and los quesos or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you know, shout out to my tia Mena. She gave me some nopales that were pretty tasty with some eggs.
Okay, Tia Mena.
And he told me, he was like, if I knew that my certain cousins had came from Mexico.
The ones that emailed us?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I knew this one was in Mexico because, I knew she came back because she went on a trip with one of my uncles, right? But I didn't know about the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, my dad was like smiling when he said it. I'm like, what? And he was like, I heard that they came because they wanted to whoop your ass. I'm like, who wanted it? I'm like, and I did like a crazy laugh. I was like, whoop whose ass? And he was like, you know, they wanted to whoop your ass. I was like, well, you know, my tia knows where you live because they're staying with my tia, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, my tia knows where you live. I'm like, if they really wanted to whoop my ass, they could have whooped my ass 2 weeks ago when they got here. I'm like, but they haven't said anything. They haven't been like, hey, Tio, call Laura and have her meet up because I'll be glad to meet them up. Right? And then mom was like, llámale la inmigración para que se las lleve. I'm like, Mom. I'm like, who's calling immigration? I was like, I ain't calling immigration. I'll beat their ass. And then Veronica was like, Papa, you really think because my mom is worried about me getting jumped. And Veronica was like, Mom, you really think I'm gonna let Laura get jumped? Like, if I see her fighting and if it's 2 against 1, I'm gonna jump in.
Yeah.
Right? And then she's like, well, I'm gonna take this cousin, and she said the name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, fine. I was like, I'll take the scrawny bitch. I'm like, I'm fat, I can take her. And then Tony was like, I told Tony about it, my brother, and he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, so I was like, if I'm getting my ass beat, he's like, I'll jump in and I just throw them against the tree. I'm like, you right, brother, you got this.
Oh
but my dad was just telling me, and he was just like, you're not scared? I'm like, scared of what? I'm like, the only person I'm scared of is this lady right here. Only person I'm scared of is my mom.
Because she be grabbing the nipples and
my
twisting.
mom was like, si te peleas con ella, nomás jálales de las chichis. Well, that's my rant. It's just like, it was just it caught me off guard. You know what I mean?
I don't know why.
It was random.
I don't know why they keep trying to play with you. Like they know how you are.
I was like, well, I'm like, they know where you live. Like, if they show up, all you have to do is be like, mija, aquí son tus primas, and I'm gonna drive my happy. It's gonna take me literally 2 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, I'm just telling you. I'm like, well, you told me, and now I'm pissed. So, fuck you.
I don't know why they keep trying to play with you.
I think it's funny.
Oh, it is. It's funny. It's just like.
Got anything to rant about? I feel way better ranting. I'm glad to catch you guys up.
Do I have anything to rant about?
Do you?
No, not really. Like, no, not that I can think of.
Yeah, she's really thinking.
I am. No, not really.
All right, get to it.
All right. Well, how are the kids liking school?
Girls are excited. Kimbo's in 7th. Yeah, we're not talking about that in there. She's in 7th. Bella's in 5th, and then Bubba is in pre-K 4. This first week, he's been like, you know, crying, whining and stuff, but I feel like he's doing better now. He just has to get used to it and just waking up early and then getting dropped off.
Yeah.
What about?
So, Chiquis started pre-K, so yay. my house is super quiet and I don't know what
It's
to do.
It was creepy when I walked in.
Yeah.
I was expecting her to come out.
Yeah, no, it's super quiet. That girl, y'all. So I don't know if y'all have seen on the TikTok, but like where all the parents are like, oh, pre-K or whatever grade the kids are going to, they're like, oh, please be nice to my baby. Yeah, no, I couldn't do that.
She's feral.
My child is
She's
feral.
Fucking feral.
She is. And so it's like she had a better day yesterday.
After she ran circles?
So yesterday was what, the third day? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday was the third day. And the first 2 days, they only let us walk them to the class. After that, they have to go in by themselves. Mm-hmm. So Matthew still goes to the school. He's in 5th grade. So I was like, okay, Matthew. I'm like, hold her hand, walk her inside, drop her off. He was like, okay. And so he was like trying to hold her hand and she wouldn't. She was like, no, don't touch me. No, I walk by myself.
She got boundaries, bro.
Girl, she wouldn't even let me hold her hand.
She got boundaries. Leave her alone.
And then so she like made it up to the front, in front of the doors. And then after that, like I had to come out of my car because she wasn't going in. So I like stood by the gate, by the street. And I'm like, it's okay. It's okay.
No, you got this.
Yeah, I'm like, go ahead and go inside, mama. Like, it's all good. And she goes, no. Here comes one of the staff members. She's an older lady. Bitch. Ava
took off.
That lady was like running, trying to grab her, and she's like, woo, woo, like swerving. And Matthew didn't help at all. He stood there and he was like,
at her. He was over it.
Yeah, he was over it. He's not a morning person, so he was just like.
Oh my god.
Looking at me.
I can imagine her going, whoop.
Yeah, like,
whoop.
Man, she was swerving. The lady finally, like, grabbed her. She grabbed her right here. And she went like that. And she goes, no. I'm like, Ava, go inside. She's like, my mommy. I'm like, it's okay.
What about your cousin's kid?
And so my cousin's kid, her and Ava are a month apart. So they put their baby into the same school, right? So we have it to where Ava and the baby are in the same class together. And well, my cousin was running late, and so she wasn't there when we dropped off Ava. And she said that she went to get her out of the car and she took off into the back. And like, the baby, she's short and she's real petite. She's really small. Mm-hmm. So she's fast.
Hell yeah.
So she took that seatbelt off. And when my cousin opened the door, she hopped all the way to the back. And then my cousin went to the back, she hopped to the front. Like, my cousin could not get her.
when Elijah does that shit.
Yeah, man, Ava does it too. Mm-hmm. Finally, she gets her out of the car. She walks her up to the front. And she's like, okay. She's like, like, you gotta go in. Mm-hmm. Whatever. No, she went this way, ran into the yard, like the grass area. And was like, phew, 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 phew. Crying.
Was your cousin running after her?
She was running after her. Another staff member was running after her. And shit, my cousin was telling me.
These COVID babies are fucking feral.
My cousin was telling me, she was like, bitch. She's like, I got a fat ass. She's like that. She's like, the staff member, she had a big ass too. She's like, can you imagine our asses just doing this while we're running? She's like, you know how bad my back hurt? But today was better.
That's good. What happened?
Today was better. We got there together. And so we walked the girls up and we took some pictures of them, together. We were trying to make it like, exciting. So they got to wear jeans and a school shirt today. And, like, we were like, okay, hold hands. And we're like taking pictures and stuff. And we're like, are you excited? Like, it's going to be a great day. Yada, yada, yada. Right? And they were like, oh, okay, all excited and stuff. And then so they go in. And I was like, Matthew, he was like, bye, Mom. Like, I was like, no, like, you need to take the girls. He was like, oh, okay. And then so he, like, walks behind them. And the baby turns and looks at my cousin. And she was like this. But she didn't cry.
She just got teary-eyed.
She got teary-eyed. She didn't cry. And she goes, bye. Like, because she talks real low. She goes, bye, Lita. Bye. And she goes, you're going to have a great day, okay? And she goes, okay.
I think they just gotta get used to it.
They have to get used to it. And he was like, okay, bye, Mom. I'm like, bye, baby. I'm like, have fun. She goes, okay. And then her and the baby, they were holding hands, and Matthew was walking behind them, and he was like, come on, guys. So today was a lot better.
Yeah, like también. I dropped him off. He didn't cry like he did yesterday, but when I was signing him in or whatever, he was like, Mom. He got teary-eyed, and he held my hand. I was like, I'll see you in a little bit. I was like, if I don't pick you up, Grandpa's gonna pick you up. And the teacher was like, all right, well, let's go wash your hands so you can play while your other friends get there and stuff. He goes, I was like, yes!
Lord. Update. So, Elijah and Ava are going to get married.
Oh, my God.
Elijah made his mom record a video where he was down on one knee and proposing to Ava. And then my poor daughter, andaba toda fodonga. She had like her hair everywhere. She had a
rough fucking day.
She had her hair everywhere, and then she had like glittery lipstick here.
It was bad, y'all.
Bright pink, purple eyeshadow. Like my baby.
She looked toe up.
Yeah. And then so we have a video where she's like, yes, Elisha, I marry you. And then my husband's laying next to me. He goes, no, the fuck you not. So
Elijah don't take his Nino seriously.
Yeah,
they have that love-hate relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, like our babies are gonna get married.
Yup.
Because the other ones were supposed to get together, and they can't stand each other.
And
so.
they got different
vibes.
They got different types.
Yeah, they got different types. Well, actually, no, because Kimbo and Abel have the same type. Well, just the opposite.
Well, Kimberly she likes, like, you know, the white boys and then the black boys. I don't think she really likes Mexicans.
Yeah.
But yeah.
See, Abel hasn't dated a Mexican girl. He dated a white girl, and he's dated 2 black girls. And
Kimberly has not dated. I told her, if you know, this year, I was like, I know how 7th grade is.
Yes.
So if this year, you know, you happen to like somebody, I would rather you be honest with me and your dad. Not date-wise, but if you end up having a crush or, you know, something like that, let us know.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to raise sneaky-ass kids.
Yeah. Now, Abel tells his dad. So I get the tea from Abel.
Okay.
And then he'll be like, girl, when I found out Abel had his first kiss, I was looking at him. And his dad was like, yeah, he's like, you know, Abel was telling me, like, he kissed a girl. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah. I was like, when did he tell you? He's like, when we were bonding. And I'm like, when? Like, when did this happen?
Now you're getting upset about it.
Yeah, I was upset. And he was like, it's not the first girl he's kissed. I was like,
the
fuck you mean?
Yeah, the fuck you talking about?
He was like, babe, like, he's had, like, multiple girlfriends.
Excuse me, sir.
And I was like, yeah. I was like, I know he had girlfriends, but I didn't know they were, like, sucking face. And then Lupito was right there. He was, like, whipping around.
How old were you when you started sucking face?
Like, I had my first kiss underneath the table in kindergarten.
You fast little hoe.
I was a fast little hoe.
My first kiss was in 2nd grade.
That reminded me of that H03 song. My first kiss went a little like this. Yeah, that was my shit.
Mine was in 2nd grade in the playground between the portables.
Okay, I was under a table, not between portables, so who was fast?
Bitch, you were in kindergarten underneath the table.
But the little boy was my sister's friend's brother. Like, it's like Ava and Elisha.
They still haven't kissed, though.
Elisha's kissed Ava.
None in the mouth?
He kissed her on the lips at New Year's.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. When he said, bye, Ava, and he grabbed her and went like that, and then Ava muffed him.
Well, she gets that from you.
I didn't muff the other one. Your baby kissed my baby.
Well, she let herself?
He grabbed her without her permission. Keep talking shit.
They can't be reading these books. That's some book shit right
because
there.
Even Carlos was like, The fuck?
Hey, he gets that shit from his daddy, because that shit ain't me. Y'all both hoes. Okay.
Oh my god.
You ready to start the emails?
Yeah, no.
No. Go.
So we're gonna do. We have 2 scary ones.
Ooh.
And then we have a confession one.
I want to read. Give me one. I'll read the first one. I'll read Graveyard Shift.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. It says, "Hey Rosie and Laura, my sister stumbled across your podcast on TikTok about a month ago, and we automatically followed you.
Thank you.
Your episodes and content are amazing, and I can't wait for y'all to make it big and actually have a podcast studio, and hopefully y'all can do some Halloween merch soon. So let's get into it. My sister and I work graveyard shift in a nursing home. We have had plenty of scary experiences since we both started working about 6 years ago. My sister has had 3 experiences while working there. She was in a room and felt like someone was watching her. She turned around and there was an old woman staring at her intently. After a moment, the woman disappeared in front of her. The second ghost she saw was an old man in the corner who watched her move. When she looked at the corner after doing some work, the old man was gone. The third and perhaps the craziest was when she was in the kitchen talking to another coworker. She and the coworker noticed the men wearing work clothes, like they were
kitchen stuff.
Like they worked in the kitchen. He opened the fridge door and went inside. They both assumed it was their supervisor. After talking some more, the coworker commented about the men staying in there for too long, and she needed to go in there for something. It's a small walk-in fridge. Only one person can fit inside comfortably. Just as the coworker was about to go check on the person who was in the fridge, the supervisor walks into the kitchen and goes inside the refrigerator. My sister and my co-worker both freeze for a moment, and they ask each other if they saw a man walk into the fridge before the supervisor did. And then the supervisor said there was no one ever there. Or mine, it was the night I watched a tall shadow walk into a resident's room. She had been talking that night about going home. She had dementia, so I just redirected her with something like, "Yes, the weather tomorrow will be great for traveling. What a nice idea." And we just kept talking. Nobody had warned me she was a palliative
There
you go.
Yeah.
And she passed that morning after I left. Or another story is after someone died, their call bell just kept going off for a few days. I had a binder fly off a shelf and land on my feet after it was stable for hours. I had taps turn on brushing hard water while the residents would yell at me, "Your relatives are behind me." I've heard a lot of footsteps when no one is around. Hopefully these stories make it onto your podcast. Best of luck. Okay, well, ma'am, I need you to be able to use, commas and periods.
Laura.
It's because they're like run-on sentences.
Yeah.
I swear, guys, I know how to read. It's just y'all's emails.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Imagine you just working and then a fucking binder just
So I used to work. I used to do like house calls, right? And I used to have to go. Like a lot of our patients at the time were like in nursing homes. I for one love nursing homes. I love the dementia ward. I like all of that. Like that was my thing. I loved it. And I remember one time I went, and I've had some crazy patients. I've had some really crazy fucking patients. And I remember this one lady, I went to draw her blood, right? So I had her sitting down in her chair, and I had her arm like this, and I was squatting, right? And I went to draw her blood, and then she starts going like this.
To your hand?
Like to my hand, and she's like this, and then she starts touching my hair, and I'm just like letting her be, because I'm like, you're still like, you're not fighting me. You want to rub on my arm, my hand, touch my hair, I don't give a fuck. Like, don't fucking move.
Yeah.
Right? But it like really freaked me out, because she goes
oh,
like that.
No.
And I was just like, okay, I was like, little old lady's hitting on me, fine, fuck it, whatever. Right?
I'm gonna have a sugar mama.
Right? And she goes, your skin is just so soft. And I was like, thank you.
That's kind of weird.
But
I know,
they're
but that's
like
weird.
old and demented and stuff. You know what I mean?
What if she was a serial killer?
Hold on, listen.
Listen, Linda.
And then she goes, I wonder what it would be like if I could wear it. And I was like, wear what?
Bitch, I got goosebumps.
I was like, wear what? She goes, your skin. She's like, if I were to just cut it off and wear it. She's like, it's so soft. And then she like grabbed my hair like that. And I was like this, but I had the needle in her arm. So I'm like, can you let go? And she goes, in a minute. She's like, I'd love to wear your hair. It's so long. Because I had my hair really long then. And I was like, well, you can wear it when I'm done. I was like, there's a needle in your arm. So I need you. I'm almost done. Like
don't move, please.
Yeah. And she was like, just like gripping it. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, creepy. Let go. And she goes, I'm like, fuck. Like, she got my hair. So I'm like this.
Like, I'm not turned on, lady.
I know. I'm like this. I'm like, fuck. I was like, I'm like, shit. I'm like, can you feel my skin and then just like tell me how you'd like to wear it? That way, like, she could let go. I did because she wouldn't let go of my hair. And so she finally let go of my hair. And
pause. That's some white people shit. Don't ever do that.
Bitch, like, I had a needle in her fucking arm.
Oh my God.
I was not about to stick her again. No.
Let go of my hair.
And so she like let go of my hair and she's like touching my skin and she's like,
that's creepy.
She's like, yeah. She was like, I already know, like, I would just like cut it like this and just I would put it on and wear it.
Lying.
Bitch, no.
Bitch, like, I got so many.
She was like one of my creepiest fucking patients, and I was like, this bitch was on some shit.
That's like some Texas Massacre.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
And then like once I was done, you know, like I bandaged her, like I wrapped her or whatever, and I was like, all right. I'm like, we're all done. I was like, I'm leaving, and she goes. She's like, you're not leaving. I was like, yeah. I was like,
my ass.
I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm leaving. So I'm like prying her hands off my wrist. I was like, I'll be back later though. And she's like, you promise? She's like, you're gonna let me cut it? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm like,
I'm used to this.
Yeah. I was like, girl. I was like, yeah. I was like, I used to cut myself too. Like, go ahead, you can cut it. Fine. And she was like, but you're gonna be back? And I was like, yeah.
Like, so hostile?
Yeah. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'll be back. And she was like, I'm gonna wait for you. And I was like, okay. I was like I'll be back.
I would have shitted myself.
Bro, like my heart was like, don't. But I'm like, she's old and she's got dementia. Like fuck, man.
Oh, hell no.
And I remember there was another one. I had to go really early in the morning. Right? It was super early. So I went, I did his vitals and stuff, but the building was like dead. Right? Like it was just empty. So they had brought him out because he didn't want me in his room. So I was like, okay, fine. So they brought him out. They brought him to a table, like a dining area. And so I was like I was checking his vitals and getting ready to do labs. And then it was this arm. I remember because he was sitting like this, right? So I'm sitting in the chair and I'm like prepping everything. And I put a butterfly needle in his arm, right? It's a really skinny one.
Yeah.
Right? So I just put it in. And he like looked at me. He laughed and said, what's that? And ripped it and took off with the tourniquet still on his arm. And I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, like blood just... And I was like, he dipped. And I was like, oh my... I was like, hey! I was like, come back! I was trying to chase him. And then you have the staff coming. They're like, what happened? I'm like, he ripped it out and left. So we're like running down trying to get him. And we bring him back. And he was like, that was fun, right? And I was like,
no.
What? I was like, oh my God. Yeah. And that was one time. That one was funny. I had another guy. Every time I saw him, he was a recurrent. Every time I saw him, like, you know, I had my tattoos. I didn't have these, but I still had like some of these. And he's like, you're going to hell.
Because you had tattoos? Because
I had tattoos. And I was like, yeah. I was like, probably. I was like, but it's fine. And then he'll be like, I don't like you. I'm like, that's okay. I'm gonna draw your blood. He's like, He was like, God doesn't like tattoos. I was like, God will be fine. And he was like, you're gonna burn. He's like, I can see it. And I was like, that's okay. I'm always hot anyway. And but it was funny because the nurse practitioner that I used to work for, right? Because we were all kind of like paired off. So we all had like our doctor or the provider or whatever, right? And bro, she couldn't stand me because I'm like, we're dealing with dementia patients. So the more you argue with them, the more hostile, the more aggressive, the more like they're gonna like tell you you're wrong. Like you're just gonna constantly bump heads, right? So I was always going along with whatever they said, like everything, right? And she fucking hated it because she'd be like, no, like you're just encouraging. I'm like, what? I'm like, they're old and they're not gonna remember in like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, just go along with it. Like, why argue? Like, they're not gonna, stop having dementia. They're not gonna stop, like, things like that, right? And then I remember there was one time I went in. I think I told you about it. It was when I had first started, right? So this was years ago. So when I first started, there's this old black lady. I loved her. This one was my favorite. And it was because she riled up my provider so much. My provider could not stand this lady.
What
she could not stand her. Like nothing. Cause like, man, the lady, that old lady was lit. Like I know for a fact this lady was a fucking vibe in her prime. I know she was. And I remember the first time we went into the rooms and I opened the door and I was like, hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm going to be your nurse, yada, yada, yada. And she goes, stop. Like, I didn't even get to walk in. I just opened the door. And I was like, okay. And my provider was like, like trying to push me in. I was like, she said, stop. And she was like, don't listen to her. I was like, no. I was like, I need her comfortable. Like, I'm the one that's got to stick a needle in her arm, right? And I was like, what's wrong? And she goes, you have to be careful. And I was like, why? She's like, you don't see them on the floor? And I was like, I see stuff on the floor. Like, there was nothing there. But I was like, I see stuff on the floor. I'm like, but what is it? She goes, they're babies. They're crawling everywhere, so you have to be careful. And I was like, oh, okay.
So you tiptoe.
And so I was like, well, just tell me where to step. Like, I love encouraging them. That's why she couldn't stand me.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I was like, so tell me where to step. And so she was like pointing and I'm like, right here. And she goes, yeah. And so I would like do it, right? Until I got to her. And then my provider just walked in. She's like, you're killing them. And I was like, stop. I'm like, you're hurting them. And she goes, there's nothing there. I'm like, there are babies on the floor and you need to stop. And then like, bitch, I bet mainly because I didn't like her. But like, I knew it pissed her off, right?
You shut up and like, stop.
Yeah, stop. And then so the lady I was like, you need to stop where she tells you, or because she was aggressive. They already warned us that she was an aggressive patient.
Yeah.
Right? I was like,
so why make it
worse?
Yeah.
Especially when I'm the one that has to get near her. You're gonna
be able to run.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And then so she was like, I'm not doing it. I was like, look, I'm like, just go along with it so you can come in and we can leave.
Yeah.
Right? So she did it, but she wasn't happy about it.
She was pissed.
Yeah. And then so like I'm drawing her blood, doing vitals and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. I was like, are there still babies around me? She goes, no. She's like, they left. I'm like, okay. I was like, I can move, right? She's like, yeah. So I stepped away and the provider came up and she's like talking to her. But she's talking to her like a regular patient. Right? And I'm like, she doesn't understand anything that you're saying. I was like, so, like I understand you have to, but like you can try and get it to where she's comfortable, because she had a really thick accent. She was an Indian lady, right? And so sometimes you couldn't understand everything that she said, and sometimes when she spoke, she sounded very aggressive.
Okay.
Right? And so she would like walk up to the patient, and this lady, when I tell you, I loved this lady. I fucking loved her. She was like, I don't like you.
To your provider?
To the provider. And the provider's like, why? I haven't even, she's like, I don't like you. If I was younger, I'd fight you. And I was like standing back there with my little bucket and like my bag, and I was like, and she was like, she's like, this isn't gonna work. She's like, new doctor, New doctor.
I love it.
I know. She was a vibe. Like, she was my favorite. And the provider was like, well, there's not another doctor here. She's like, so you need to let me. And she was like, no. And I was like, I'm like, the babies are going to come back. I was like, they're going to be back soon. I was like, so just let her do whatever she needs to do. That way we can leave before the babies come back and she doesn't kill them again. And she was like, oh, she's like, you know what?
You right.
Yeah. You play along with whatever it is. Right? And she was like,
the provider being the baby killer.
Yeah. The provider's like, there's no baby. I was like, just shut up.
Like, shut the fuck up. She's about to let me drop her fucking blood.
No, I was done. She let me do it. She liked me. The provider had to go and like double check everything and listen and like stuff like that. But she didn't want her touching her. Right? So I was like, just go along with it. And she was like, yeah. She's like, my babies are going to come back. She was like, okay. She was like, just so she can leave. And I was like, yeah, just so she can leave. I was like, when she's done, I'm like 5 minutes.
Babies are coming
back. The babies are going to come back and we'll be gone. And she was like, okay. And so she was like listening to her and stuff. And she was like, you killed my babies. And I was like, she's like, I don't like you. She's like, we're going to have problems. I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm going to hear it when I get in the car. I was just like, I'm going to have problems.
I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah, like, I'm going to get in trouble. And then she goes like this. And she starts looking at the provider. And she like caresses her thigh. And I was laughing. I was trying not to laugh. But I'm dying.
Yeah.
Right? Because her provider was very like conservative, very like
my God.
in her ways. You know what I mean? And the provider was like, no, don't touch.
Don't touch me.
Yeah. And then she was like,
making her uncomfortable.
Yeah, she was like, you know how many bitches I fucked back in my day? And I was like, I said her name and I was like, Miss So-and-so. And she's like, what? She's like, just because I'm old don't mean I wasn't playing the field. And
she was a vibe.
She was a vibe. I loved her.
She lived a good life.
She was such a vibe. And then like when we were getting ready to leave, she was like, she's like, the orgy's about to start. And I was like, the orgy?
Oh,
and she was like, she's like, yeah. She's like, you don't see all these people fucking around me? She's like, I'm about to get in. And I was like, well, you have fun with your orgy. I was like, you do your orgy, baby. It's fine. And then she was like, try to take her clothes off. I'm like, we gotta go. I was like, we need to leave. And she was like, why do you encourage it now? I was like, she was fine.
She's about to have an orgy. Leave her the fuck alone.
I was like, she was fine. I'm like, she let us do what we needed to do. I'm like, had I argued with her, told her there were no babies,
it would have been taken
that
forever.
there was no orgy, I'm like, we'd still be there.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Alright, guys. So, if you want to listen to the rest of this episode, follow us on Spotify and Podbean. What is the next episode going to be? The next email going to be?
The next email
will be...
Demon House.
So, make sure to follow us on Spotify and Podbean. What else?
And YouTube.
So, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. This is our first time saying this.
Yeah, we haven't done it.
So like, comment, and subscribe, and then follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If you want to send us any confessions or cheese mess, send it to sisterhood.confessions1@gmail.com.
Yes, tell us our nurses or CNAs or medical assistants, whatever you are. Send us your creepy, crazy patient stories. Okay. I enjoy them. I love them.
She loves them. And then also, go ahead and send us your first week of school stories.
Yes, we want to hear how all of your babies are doing. What do you think of the teachers? Yeah. All that stuff.
Bye.